Love him or hate him, either way, one thing is for sure, Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. A 6-time Super Bowl champ, 4-time Super Bowl MVP, over 75,000 passing yards, and more than 550 touchdowns. Tom Brady is without a doubt in contention for being the greatest of all time. However, Aaron Rodgers also has quite an impressive resume. Maybe he doesn't have the same accolades as Green Bay's captain, only has one Super Bowl ring, yet he's still thrown for just under 50,000 yards and over 375 touchdowns. He's also the face of State Farm. At first glance, you may think Brady is the clear winner when comparing the two, but before we jump to conclusions, we need to break down the careers of these two future Hall of Famers and see which one really is the greatest of all time. Comparing all their accolades side by side, to no surprise, Brady is the clear winner in almost every category. But it's important to factor in who each quarterback was playing with, who they were playing against, and of course, who they were playing for. Brady was also drafted 5 years before Rodgers, but Brady took over as the Patriots head honcho in 2001, whereas Aaron has been leading the pack since 2008. Of course, Brady is going to be leading in virtually every stat. As well as accolades, he's got 7 seasons of playing time to his advantage. And of the 21 seasons that Brady has played, including this current season, 20 of them were under the watchful eye of one of the best coaches of all time in Bill Belichick. They also saw Tom throw into some of the best receivers in the game, including Randy Moss, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, and of course his go-to tight ends, Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. Of course, we can't forget who Rodgers not only played with, but who he played behind for many years. Although Brady was able to study the work of Drew Bledsoe for just one season until he was ultimately given the chance to take over for the Patriots, which, as we know, he did, Aaron sat behind the great Brett Favre for 3 seasons before taking over. The expectations were also much higher for Rodgers, who was selected 24th overall in the draft, whereas Brady was a late 6th round pick, drafted 199th overall. Aside from this, Rodgers also had his fair share of weapons to work with. Throughout his career, Rodgers has thrown to the likes of Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Greg Jennings, and more recently Devontae Adams. There was also the help he received from James Jones and Jermichael Finley. But probably the most important factor in regards to Rodgers' success, or lack thereof, could potentially be the guy calling the shots, who for most of Rodgers' career was Mike McCarthy. Although Mike was able to win a Super Bowl with the team led by Rodgers, there's a reason why Cowboys players, who now play under McCarthy, were saying he's totally unprepared for games. Their words, not mine. I'm also an Eagles fan, so any shot I can take at the Cowboys I will. Back to the QBs, as some would argue, it seems Rodgers is the more talented QB, while Brady is the more accomplished. Some would argue Aaron Rodgers could do everything Tom Brady can do, but Brady can't do everything Rodgers could do. Tom Brady actually agrees and literally said, I quote him saying this, "I always loved watching his tape, admiring all the things he could do because I can't do many of those things." Maybe that's just Tom being a nice guy, who knows. At the end of the day, all that really matters is who wins. In games they've gone head to head, overall, Brady is up 3-1. And really when looking at who the better player is, you really do need to look at accolades. Not necessarily Super Bowls, but even wins, playoff wins, and performance. Overall in their careers, Brady posts a 30-11 playoff record, whereas Rodgers is 11-8. When it comes to completion percentage, they're similar, with Rodgers topping Brady at 64.3 compared to 63% respectively. In regards to QB rating, Rodgers has an impressive 100 and Brady dons an 89.9, which, although it's not in the Century Club, over the course of 41 games is pretty damn good. And again, we need to consider that Brady's numbers are based on 41 games compared to Rodgers' 19 in the playoffs. This just goes to show how consistent Brady has been throughout his career. But as they say, defense wins championships. Thankfully, both Green Bay and New England have had very solid defenses for the past 2 decades or so, at least while these guys were playing for them. That being said, there were some games in which both QBs did all they could have, but the team's defense just didn't do enough. So to settle it, who is the GOAT, Brady or Rodgers? To make things fair, we need to compare their careers when all is said and done, meaning when they retire. Who knows what the future has in store for Rodgers? That being said, Tom Brady is one of a kind, as is Rodgers, but Brady is a winner and one like no other. With 9 Super Bowl appearances, winning 6, as well as 4 Super Bowl MVPs, Brady holds records that he's going to hold for a very, very long time. Even if one could argue Rodgers has more talent, Brady finds a way to win, and that's all that matters. Even when it comes to game-winning drives, Brady is 4th all-time, just 1 behind Dan Marino with 46, and Rodgers has 24. At the end of the day, they're both Hall of Famers, but Brady is the true GOAT. Now I want to hear your thoughts. Who do you guys think the real GOAT is? Let me know down below, and we'll see you soon.